Today we're going to cover how to put your flashes in different groups, how to group them together, group them separate, so you can control each flash the way you want. Now for examples, I am going to be using the Godox system. I have the Godox V1s, Godox AD200 Pro, and the Godox SK400, I think, which is right here. And I'm using the X Pro 1 transmitter, not the 2 or the 3, but they should be relatively similar with regards to this setup. Now the way we're going to go over all of this can be used with any other flash system and any other transmitter. It's all about the same. Now I do have a top-down camera right here in this corner. You may or may not be able to see that sticking out right here, but my Godox videos, if you've watched my other ones, are very, very popular with regards to having a glare on the screen that I'm showing. So I'm going to do my best to not have a glare in this video and go for, first time no glare. Woo woo, let's go. All right, let's get into the video and get started. My name's Will, welcome back to the channel. Like I mentioned, we're gonna go over the grouping system of flashes. If you wanna know about channels, IDs, things like that, I will link a video in one of these corners that'll go over how to connect your flashes. But this is just gonna go over groups. Now to give a quick understanding of the three, there are channels, groups, and IDs. Channels, your flashes and transmitters have to be on the same channels. Groups, this allows you to put your different flashes in different groups and control them either the same or differently. And IDs is another way to identify which flashes and transmitters should be linked up. Let's say there's a bunch of different photographers at one studio and they're all using channel 28. Well, they can then change their IDs to channel 1, 2, and 3, and they won't crossfire. So these are just ways to connect. Again, I will link that video earlier or in the description of this video. You can go check that out. For groups, we're gonna start with just the simple V1. So I'm gonna turn this baby on. Let's get all these bad boys on here. Now, the first thing we need to make sure is that they're connected. So they need to make sure that all of the channels and IDs are the same. So first we're going to take a look at the AD200, and I use channel 21. So if you look here, you'll see channel 21. Now let's take a look at the V1s. So you take your V1, let me just make sure I have this in here. We're going to go to menu and scroll down until we see channel. So there's your channel, channel 21, and then also you'll notice ID, we just have IDs off. So we're good on that one. Let's take a look at this one. So menu, scroll down, channel, and ID off. Okay, good. So channel 21, ID off. Good, that one is correct. And then finally, we're gonna check our transmitter because we are going to be using the transmitter at one point. For this one, we're just gonna do the V1Cs. So here we go. So we'll notice up here, channel 21. Now to change that, you would simply go to menu, scroll down, very similar to the V1s, and you have your ID here, and channel here. Okay, so you push and hold this, and then it'll allow you to change your channel like that. Good. So there is how you do your channels to make sure that everybody is on the same place. Now, one quick thing. When you are going to do your V1s as a transmitter, you need to make sure that you push this little button here that has the little two arrows. Click it till you get this screen with the little Wi-Fi symbol there. Now, if your V1s are going to be a receiver, you do the same thing where you press this little button with the arrows until you get an orange screen. That orange screen indicates it's a receiver, and you'll notice that you can change your group and your channel when your V1 is in receiver mode. So for this one, we're gonna put this one actually in group B. So simply click the group button here till it changes to B, and there you have it in B. So for our AD200 Pro, we're gonna put this in group C. So we're gonna push the group button here until we see C, and we are all set. Now, we have our V1 here, because when you have the V1 as a transmitter, it is automatically set in group A. You cannot change that. You can only change it when it's in receiver mode. So this is a group A V1. Remember that. Now you'll notice, let's go ahead and get this here. You'll notice that right now I have A on, which is this one, B on, which is this one here, and C off, which is the AD200 Pro. Now let's say I want to change the AD200 Pro. So I press C, and you notice it says now C mode. So then I'm going to press it again. That'll turn it to TTL, and you'll notice that it is now on TTL. I hope you can see that. Light it up so you see TTL right there. If I press it again, puts it into manual. Again, now we're in manual, 1/128. Good, and if I press it again, it's off. And you see off. Good. So now let's go ahead and turn it on to manual. Then let's mess with the B here. So we click B, and you'll notice if I change this to manual, it is now in manual, and it's matching to the exposure amounts. If I then adjust this to, let's say, 1/4 or 1/32, it is now adjusted to 1/32. So these are connected. We know for a fact when we press the fire, it will fire all of them. Okay, good. Now that we have those connected, let's go set up the SK400 and get that one connected as well, because I did hear some issues on the D group not connecting well, mainly on the X3 transmitter. Again, I don't have that one. I returned it, but let's just see if that pops up with using the X Pro C. Okay, good. I got the channel on that one, and now we're going to test fire. So what we're going to do is make sure that D is on. So we're going to switch it to manual, 1/2 power, and whew, yes, it is definitely on. Now I'm going to try something, because the issue was TTL. So we're going to switch it to TTL. Let me go check. So it seems when I put the flash in D, group D, TTL is not turning on. When I turn it to manual, no problem, it is in manual. Just a quick note, I figured out why it wasn't going into TTL mode, the SK400, and that's because it doesn't have TTL mode, so it works only in manual. So that's why. So maybe check and see if your flash doesn't have TTL mode if it's not going into TTL mode. Stick with me for more pro tips like this. Now, let's connect everything to the transmitter and get it all situated again. So we're going to turn the transmitter on. Again, group channel 21, A, B. So we're going to have this one as A. So remember, we have to switch this one to receiver mode. So what do we have to do? We have to push those arrows. Now we're in receiver mode, group A. And then this is group B. And we're going to turn this baby back on. This is group C. And we are going to go put that one in D. Now that one is in group D. So if we are to fire this one, we should have all flashes fire. Yes, we are blinded. But yes, they are all connected. So this is how you put your flashes in different groups. Now let's say you wanted to change them. Well, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna simply select A, and you can adjust it as needed. Select B, adjust as needed. C, adjust as needed. D, adjust as needed. This is how you control them individually. You can have A, B, C, D on all at once and have them all connected. Now, let's say you wanted to turn one of them off. Let's say you didn't want Big Bertha back here to fire. So you click D, click mode, and it turns it off. So now if I fire the flashes, it doesn't fire because it's turned off. If you want to turn it back on, simply press mode again to manual. And so you could have A and D on, B and C off. So you do this, and now you've turned them off. And this is how you control them individually. It's very fast, it's very easy. But let's say you wanted a flash to be controlled in one group. So let's say you wanted your V1s to both be in group A. Well, that's very simple. This one here is currently in group B. So all I'd have to do is switch this to group A, right? Now, they're both in group A. So now all I do is adjust this. Let's say it's just to 1/8, like that. Now both of these flashes, you'll notice, are 1/8 power. I can adjust them together just by adjusting it on the transmitter. It's that simple. That's if you want them in the same. So this is how you control your flashes. This is how you get customization. You can have 4 all in different groups. Now, you only get up on the transmitter itself, you only get 5 groups, so you can connect 5 separate flashes individually. If you want more than that, you'd have to group them up. On the V1s, you'll notice that you only get 4 groups. So that's something to think with when you're setting up your flashes. I don't really think you need more than 4 or even 5. That's a lot. 4, I understand, but 5, that's quite a few. But that pretty much walks you through the grouping system of flashes. It's relatively simple. It seems complex because there's a lot of stuff going on, but overall it's very, very simple. Flashes in the same group, fire together, change together. Flashes in separate groups are individually customizable and can be changed separately or turned on and off at will. And that is it. That's how flashes work in the groups. And so I hope that answers all of your questions, gets you more familiar with your groups, your flashes, and gets you out shooting again. Because with flashes, it's very important just to practice. The more practice you do, the better it will be, the easier it'll be, and just it'll get more and more simple as you do that. So I hope that helps. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, here are 2 other videos that you might like, and I will see you in the next video. Later.